It's a rematch of arguably the greatest World Series of all time when Kirby Puckett was the hero. The '91 series between the Twins and the Braves. The teams haven't played many times since then. They'll open a quick two-game set tonight. The Braves are slumping even more since the All-Star break. 2-8 since then, which is the second worst record in baseball. It's been a turnaround for the Twins, though, enjoying a pretty good month. They're 12-8 in the month of July, tied for the fifth best record in all of baseball during this month of July. Good evening, everyone, from Target Field. I'm Marnie Gellner. It doesn't matter, though, the opponent or the league or the history of the teams. The Twins right now are just focused on playing better baseball, and that is something they've been able to do over the last 4 weeks, something they very much count on continuing. So let's look at your series setup for the Twins and the Braves tonight. Two teams that will be forever linked by that '91 World Series, playing each other for just the 13th time since then. Atlanta has won 7 of the previous 12 meetings. The Braves have struggled to get runners across the plate this season. They're averaging just under 3.5 runs per game, the lowest scoring average in all of baseball. The Twins, though, they're on the other side of that spectrum this month, rolling up nearly 6 runs per game in July. Only 2 other teams have a better run average this month. It's only 2 games, so to win this series means to sweep this series. The Twins will try to do both behind Ervin Santana tonight. Can he continue on his solid stretch of games? Dick and Bert are up next with that.
Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Chrysler. Enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance event. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us.
Tonight, the Twins open up a homestand, the opening game of a 2-gamer with the Atlanta Braves. One of the least experienced hitters in the game is one of the most productive hitters in the game. Right fielder Max Kepler really enjoying the month of July, second only to Albert Pujols in RBIs in the month. And we welcome you to Target Field, and we welcome back Bert Blyleven. to Twins television. The Twins at the start of the year hoping to have a good and consistent starting rotation. Well, that obviously didn't happen, but over the last month or so, one of the more consistent, good starting pitchers in the game has been Ervin Santana.
Yeah, you know what, Santana, remember, he was the opening day starter for the Minnesota Twins. He struggled a little bit, didn't get the best run support, but over his last 6 starts since June 19th, he has been on fire. 2-1 ERA at 2.03 ERA. Now, this is a guy that 2 years ago pitched for the Atlanta Braves, so this will be kind of a cool start for Santana.
Well, the Twins had some high expectations at the start of the year. The Atlanta Braves did not. They're struggling this year. They're really struggling to score runs, yet they have one guy in the middle of the lineup who is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, you know, for the Atlanta Braves you want to build a ball club around. Well, this is a guy right here, Freddie Freeman. Yeah, a lot of extra base hits. 7 years. This is now his 7th season with the Atlanta Braves. Yes, he does hit a lot of extra base hits is in the meat part of that lineup, but that lineup has been struggling.
6 really good starts in a row for Ervin Santana in advance of the trade deadline. He'd like to, of course, make it 7 in a row, even though I think everybody would like to have Ervin Santana come back next year. First pitch coming up next. "25 years ago, the Twins gave Minnesota something to believe in. A scrappy team battled the Braves for 7 games. And when it was over, it was called the greatest World Series ever. Today, those 2 teams are far from contenders. But there is one thing to take away from that epic series of 1991. It's the memory that 2 teams can finish as the worst and quickly climb to first in the following season and play for the World Series title." And both teams, of course, acknowledging the 25th anniversary of that incredible World Series. The series going 7 games, being won by the Twins. But in reality, we're looking at 2 teams that look more like their franchises did 26 years ago, with both finished in last place.
Yeah, but if you're a Twins fan, you love seeing what we witnessed in the pregame here this afternoon. It was unbelievable. Getting 4 guys to talk about the 91 World Series, very, very well done.
Well, the Braves started with Freddie Gonzalez as their manager. Then they made a change. Brian Snitker, as his Braves at 33 and 66. He's been in the organization for 40 years. And here is his Menards batting order: Jace Peterson, Gordon Beckham, Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, Adonis Garcia, Ender Inciarte,
Veteran Jeff Francoeur, A.J. Pierzynski, and Eric Ibar.
And Ervin Santana making his 19th start of the year.
And he delivers low, ball one.
And we already highlighted Santana, what he's been able to do since June 19th. His last 6 starts, 2.03 ERA. But 2 years ago, he was at Atlanta Brave, 14-game winner for the Braves in 2014.
And his last 6 starts have been very, very good. The type of starts in sequence that the Twins were hoping to get from Hughes, Gibson, Nolasco, so on and so forth, all the way through the season. Driven to left, and Rosario catches the liner, 1 away. Don't expect the Braves to do much scoring, but the last time we said that here, the Phillies came in and in 3 games scored 22 runs. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Rosario in left, Buxton in center, Kepler in right. Sano, Nunez left side of the infield, Dozier and Mauer right side, and Kurt Suzuki. 7 stitches are still in his chin. A little extra padding underneath to help protect in the event of he getting another foul tip in the mask, but he's back in the lineup after getting Sunday off. Strike 1. Gordon Beckham. Twins saw a lot of him when he was with the White Sox, briefly with the Angels.
Yeah, Beckham, not a lot of at-bats this year. A couple of stints on a disabled list. Playing second base for the Braves.
1-1. It's an interesting mix that the Braves have with a lot of veterans on the backsides of their career. Beckham, Markakis, Francoeur, Pierzynski, Ibar. And a lot of young guys that they hope will get better in a hurry.
Yeah, a lot of their youngsters in the minor leagues that they're hoping to get up here in the AA and AAA level as the season goes on.
2-1 to Beckham. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Santana, I think, you know, really, we go back to June 19th. I think a little sharper as far as his control of his fastball, slider a little bit sharper, mixing in a good changeup. Wants to go back inside to Beckham here.
And it's fouled back.
Beckham, former #1 pick for the White Sox back in 2008. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, so he's playing for his home team where he grew up. Went to the University of Georgia out of Athens. Good slider. There's that slider right there, set up by the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Santana picks up his first strikeout. So after going fastball inside, slider going straight down over the top. Santana, good arm angle. And Beckham swings and misses.
2 down, and now Freddie Freeman. Having a good year, and it has to be very difficult for any hitter, as good as he might be, to put up the numbers Freeman has put up without much support in front of him or behind him.
Freeman in his 7th season with the Braves, 2-time National League All-Star.
The Twins have some emerging power, but I don't think they would be identified as a power hitting team, at least not yet. They have 113 home runs this year. The Braves have 61. High fly left field. And Rosario retreating on the edge of the track, now on the track, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Ervin Santana. Of pitches, and the Braves went down 1-2-3. Paul Molitor admitting now it's a little bit more of a challenge to come up with a lineup. Wasn't an issue in the first. It was a different type of a challenge in the first 2 months when the Twins weren't hitting. But here's his lineup tonight with Santana, Escobar, and Grossman on the bench. Nunez, Bauer, and Sano, Dozier, Kepler, and Vargas, Rosario, Suzuki, and Buxton.
And on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, Lucas Heron, making just his 5th start. The Braves have used 12 different starters this year. Heron, one of the 12, making his 5th start.
Lucas Heron was in the Detroit organization. The Braves picked him up, had him in the minor leagues, brought him up. He's done okay, but as Bert suggested, it's been kind of a work in progress trying to establish 5 regular guys in the Atlanta rotation.
Yeah, Harrell last year basically out of baseball. He ended up playing in South Korea and then signed by the Tigers, was let go, released by the Tigers, then signed with the Braves, as you talked about, Dick. Went down to the minor leagues, pitched pretty well. Now making his 5th start for the Braves.
3-1 in Korea. His numbers weren't real good. 10-11, an ERA of just under 5. Joe Mauer on deck. 3-1 to Nunez. Oh boy, not the way to start the ball game. A 5-pitch walk to Eduardo Nunez. Northland Ford defense for the Braves. Ender Inciarte, very good at center field. He's flanked by Francoeur and Peterson. Adonis Garcia, Eric Ibar, Gordon Beckham, Freddie Freeman in the infield, and A.J. Pierzynski still going strong.
Yes, he is. You know, Heron, when he got called up, his first 2 starts were outstanding. He gave up only 2 earned runs in his first 2 starts, 13 2/3 innings. But over his last 2 starts, 9 earned runs in 9 2/3 innings in his last 2.
Nunez on the first pitch and a stolen base. And Beckham falling over Nunez. The helmet equidistant between first and second.
Well, Jose Altuve came into this ballgame in the American League with 25 stolen bases. Now Nunez just steals his 25th. And of course, against A.J. Pierzynski, clubs are going to run against him. We saw that when he was with the Twins. But Nunez very aggressively, head first slide, keeping every part of his body he can as Ibar tumbles over him. So 25th stolen base for Nunez. He gets into scoring position.
Pierzynski's throwout percentage 23% now on the year. Here's Mauer and a 1-0 count and a strike on the outside corner. Joe's average down to 261.
Well, sometimes when you're struggling at the plate, which, you know, Joe, he'll pick up a hit here or there. 30 runs batted in, 8 home runs. But you do the little things sometimes, maybe when you don't feel like you're making good contact. And his job here, get Nunez over to third and hopefully drive him in with a base hit.
Braves, more than playing him straight up, they've actually got their center fielder Inciarte playing Joe to pull the ball a little bit more. We don't see that very often. Inciarte's a couple steps over into the right center field gap. Howard takes outside now. 3-1. Sano on deck.
Harrell came in at his ballgame 9 walks in 23 1/3 innings. Fastball, sinker, slider, occasional curveball.
A drive to left. Peterson is back. Nunez setting up for a tag. He'll scamper towards third, and the throw is a little bit offline. Good base running by Nunez, and he gets to third.
Very, very good base running. Nunez followed the ball. He saw that Peterson had to go back on that ball. So, of course, as an outfielder having to go back, you don't have time because this ball was hit kind of a line drive to him. And Nunez did a good job of tagging up and getting to third.
There's like cold hard facts. And the Twins have done much better since the first month of this year, certainly averaging in July nearly 6 runs a game. Third in the major leagues.
Making better contact, not striking out as much.
Here's Sano, infield playing back. Swing and a foul, 1 strike. Sano has been a part of the renaissance for the Twins lineup, hitting over 300 in his last 25 games. Of course, the big issue with Sano now is his defense at third base. But he should be in his comfort range here with a RBI almost handed to him if he can put the ball in play. Now up and in, 1-1. And grounded foul over Gene Glenn's head, over by the tarp, and it's 1-2. Sano with 99 strikeouts on the season, 256 at bats. On the outside corner. And Nunez right now still at third with 2 gone. That'll leave it up to Brian Dozier.
Aaron did a good job of pitching him in, and then they went away. One thing A.J. Pierzynski has always done, I feel, calls a very good game. Good fastball, good location, good frame by Pierzynski, framing it and getting a strikeout.
Brian Dozier, the batter. Twins will need something productive in this plate appearance to get the run in, and off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Fastball, I guess, on the outside corner. 1 strike to Dozier. Harold trying to pitch around a leadoff walk, and Nunez's base running ability. 1-1.
Well, Dozier leading the club in doubles, home runs, and runs batted in. 18 doubles, 17 home runs, and he's driven in 51.
On the outside corner again with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Don't expect Harold to give up a lot of home runs. He's now pitched 24 innings and only given up 1 home run. That came in his last start. On the ground, but right into the shifted shortstop. Ibar throws low, and Freeman digs it out to end the inning. Nunez left at third, no score after 1.
Braves, we start the second inning here at Target Field. Paul Molitor in 1991 had just finished up a season playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, but came back home to St. Paul in the offseason and was actually at the Metrodome for games 6 and 7 of the '91 World Series. And Molitor said that he had seats right above the first base dugout behind Ted Turner and Jane Fonda owners of the Braves at the time, said he chatted up with those guys a little bit during the games, but Molitor said to witness the Kirby game and the drama that unfolded, and Jack Morris in Game 7, he said that series had some spectacular moments to it, and to be part of all of that, everything that was going on in Minneapolis, especially after Game 7, he said was incredibly memorable. Dick and Bert, I would imagine there are several Twins fans who share that sentiment.
Yes, thank you, Marty.
And the games in Atlanta, even though the last game was a blowout, the games 3 and 4 were walk-off wins for the Braves. What a tremendous series. And as Paul reminded me, that was a run of really successful years for St. Paul baseball. Starting in '91, Jack Morris was the World Series MVP. 1993, Paul Molitor was the World Series MVP. And while Dave Winfield wasn't the MVP in '92, he got the biggest hit of that World Series. It was a drive deep to left and gone. A home run for Adonis Garcia, his 8th of the year. The Braves strike first.
Well, Santana was getting some quick outs. That looked like a breaking ball, just kind of hung right there. And Garcia, line drive home run, gives the Braves an early 1-0 lead. And you mentioned before, that's only their 62nd home run of the year for the Braves. This is their 100th game. But the breaking ball, you can see Suzuki wanted it away, just kind of spun right into that zone. And Garcia put a good swing on it.
Santana, 13th home run he's allowed. It comes with the bases empty. It gives Atlanta a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's the 9th home run he's given up to right-handers. Actually, right-handed hitters have had better success against Santana than lefties.
Bauer lets it go free to Dozier, and another 1 pitch out. Dozier to Santana, 2 down. Bring up Francoeur.
Yeah, right-handers are hitting 287 off the Santana coming into this ball game. Left-handers hitting only 238. And there are the numbers for Santana a couple years ago with the Braves, and then signed that 4-year contract with the Twins. But he won 14 ball games, worked almost 200 innings, very good ERA, under 4.
2 down, and now Jeff Francoeur returning home to Atlanta. Having a decent year. 1 strike.
Originally the #1 pick by the Braves back in 2002.
Up the middle. Dozier knocks it down. Throws. Got it.
What a play. What a play.
Fine play by Brian Dozier, going to his right to end the inning. A Garcia home run. The Twins will send Kepler, Vargas, and Rosario to the plate here in the second against Lucas Harrell. Kepler's had quite a month. He's got a little zone picked out for himself here at Target Field. It's the overhang area in right field. Strike two. You saw him at Fenway Park twice hit a ball that again was in that at that angle off the bat. And at Fenway Park it ended up being a couple of triples. On the ground, Freeman has it, and a long flip to Harrell covering, one away. Bring up Kenny Vargas. Going back to our Sanford Health injury report, Prince Fielder having a second neck surgery, second time in 3 years, and it's almost a sure bet that his season will be done now.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Rangers, you know, they've been hanging in there in that Western Division. Still a 3.5 game lead over the Astros, who've been playing better baseball.
And it really complicates things for the Rangers, because they're in a position where I think everybody agrees they need some help in the pitching department, both for starting and for relief pitching.
Well, they're a club, I think, in the next couple, 2-3 days, 5 days, they're going to be adding somebody.
But you know, all right, let's say they bring up Joey Gallo eventually and have him try to fill in where Fielder or Shin-Soo Choo is. Well, that was one of their big trade chips too, and so it just, there's never a good time to have a big injury like that. But here the Rangers trying to patch some holes, and their flexibility I'm sure will be stretched pretty thin, if that's not a terrible play on words. We just got word Gallo was called up today. Profar, another possible trade chip, now needs to be used within the system, within the Ranger organization perhaps. 2-1 to Kenny Vargas. He drives a sharp single to right. And I don't know whether Kenny Vargas has ever played golf, but that sure looked like a golf swing.
A good solid swing right there. He has been swinging a hot bat since his call up in early July. Vargas has had a lot of extra base hits. This is his 4th single. Vargas 3 home runs, 9 doubles of his 16 hits that he's been able to get so far. So he picked up the first Twins hit here tonight.
Here's Eddie Rosario, and it's off the handle of the bat, foul over the Braves dugout. Twins are waiting for Rosario to catch fire a little bit. As he average up to 256 with 5 home runs. He's had a 4-hit game, and I think more so in the power department. They're waiting to see the kind of power he displayed last year.
It's almost like, you know, in baseball they talk about the sophomore jinx, and it's almost what Rosario has gone through. He has been swinging the bat better as of late, but last year 13 home runs. He drove in 50 runs in 122 ball games.
1-1 to the Twins left fielder. It's a high fly to left. And Peterson comes in, now backpedals out number 2. That'll bring up Suzuki. Join us for the first ever Twins Women's Baseball Clinic, sponsored by Mayo Clinic at Target Field Saturday. It's an exclusive clinic intended for young adults and adult women interested in improving their baseball skills and having fun at Target Field. No baseball experience is necessary. For more information and to register, visit twinsbaseball.com/women's clinic or call 612-659-3508. Saturday, Kurt Suzuki took a foul ball off the lower part of his mask. He took 7 stitches. You can see where the chin area is taped. He has some extra padding to wear under his catcher's mask. Twins really didn't want to even think about what it might have taken to bring him into the game on Sunday. Juan Centeno caught, and everybody had an off day yesterday.
You know, knowing Kurt Suzuki, if that opportunity arose, he would have went out there on Sunday.
Up, and it's 2-0. Pierzynski to the mound. Asked Suzuki today, you know, is it still painful to the touch? And he said yes. I mean, you can imagine a big cut, a slice right in the bottom of your chin that required 7 stitches at the ballpark. at Fenway Park. Centeno, a couple innings after that, got a foul ball in the same spot, and the next day his chin was sore. But thankfully no cut. Strike call, 2-1. Carroll given a 1-run lead in the top of this inning. On the outside corner, 2-2.
They're doing a good job so far working the outer half of the plate.
Where the Twins got off to a slow start and are now playing better, the people who cover the Braves say that's not the case for them. They haven't played well all year long, and they don't appear to be playing substantially better in July than they were in April. It's at a long way foul.
The Braves currently, since the All-Star break, they're currently on a 5-game losing streak, but just 2-8 since the All-Star break, where the Twins are 5-5.
Quite a story. Snitker, as we said, 40 years in the Braves organization, now getting a chance to manage the big league club. 2-2 to Kurt Suzuki. Byron Buxton on deck. And Buxton protects the plate. So many comparisons between the Twins and Braves World Series matchup 25 years ago, when in reality the two franchises kind of went in opposite directions after the World Series. Fouled back. The 91 World Series was the first of 15 straight playoff appearances for the Braves. And they finally won the World Series in '95. Twins didn't get back to the postseason again until 2002 and went through some dark times, to say the least.
Oh, the Braves had the Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz threesome that were outstanding. All of them Hall of Famers.
And Ciardi comes in. Twins get a base hit, leave Vargas aboard through 2. The Braves have a 1-0 lead. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. A.J. Pierzynski will lead off the third for the Atlanta Braves. His first year of professional baseball, 1994. Broke in with the Twins in 1998. Back and forth a little bit, but he's hopped around to be sure, but he has been catching now for a long time. Check swing and a strike.
Always a very good hitter, career .280 hitter coming into this year. Last year Hit 300 for the Braves, re-signed with the Braves. This is his 19th major league season.
It's a fair ball right over the bag, and Pierzynski will have an extra base hit as the ball hit the angled wall and deflected into short right field. So a leadoff double for Pierzynski. That'll bring up Erick Aybar.
Yeah, as it hit that wall, the ball kind of slowed down a little bit. Fastball left up right down that first base. Even though it landed over the bag, it went over the bag fair, landed in foul territory. Says Doug Eddings, the 19-year veteran, down at first base as the umpire. So the 11th double for Pierzynski. Second hit off of Santana.
And now Erick Aybar.
See if Aybar tries to, no, swings away, base hit.
Pierzynski was retreating toward the second base bag, and the third inning starts with a double and a single, first and third, nobody out. Again, the ball was grounded in fair territory. Well, let's take a look here. That's a foul ball.
Right, but then it came back.
But it landed, it never touched in fair territory. That should have been a foul ball.
You're absolutely right.
I thought it landed in fair territory, but it landed out of the batter's box, a foul ball, and never did cross into fair territory. Nevertheless, first and third, nobody out, and a double play grounder. Everything's happening quickly for Santana, and he's thrown what, 3 pitches here, and he's completed 3 at bats.
He's only thrown 23, 24 pitches, so Santana getting some quick outs, but also giving up some quick hits. Peterson hitting into a double play. A little 6-4-3, no RBI, but Pierzynski scores a second run for the Braves.
Well, now a run on the first, or excuse me, a run on the second, a run on the third. And here's Gordon Beckham.
14th double play turned behind Santana.
In case you're wondering, plays like the Pierzynski double, fair or foul in front of the umpires, are not reviewable. They might be renewable, but they're not reviewable. It's a fly ball to left, carrying fairly deep, and Rosario on the edge of the track makes a catch. Well, Ervin Santana cutting through the Braves quickly, but he's behind 2-0. Leading to a second Braves run. Trading deadline is actually Monday, not July 31st on Sunday. Because it's a Sunday, they've extended it to Monday. And a big move yesterday, and the Cubs already very, very good. Got a lot better at the end of the ball game.
Yeah. Chapman, of course, was a closer for the Yankees. Now he's going to close ball games for the Cubs.
Quicken Loan's rocket arms and rocketing 5 pitches, rounding up in most of those cases to 105 miles per hour. 1-0 to Byron Buxton, leading off the third, bluffed a bunt and took ball one. And now 2-0. Buxton, a Georgia native, getting a chance to play against the Braves for the first time. 3-0. Twins got a leadoff walk in the first, got Nunez as far as third base. One out single in the second. Vargas never moved from first base. Strike call, 3-1.
Well, leadoff walks usually hurt you, especially if they're a guy like Buxton, because he can fly.
And there's a walk on 5 pitches. That's exactly what he did to Nunez in the first inning. And Nunez will hit with Buxton aboard. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Nunez walked in 5 pitches, stole second, went to third on a deep fly ball, but was left there in the first inning.
And Buxton at first base gets a throw over. 7 stolen bases in 7 attempts.
Twins are 63 for 83 in stolen bases. Steal percentage above 75%. That's pretty good. Buxton's 7 for 7. Dozier's 7 for 7. Nunez now 25 for 31. Base hit right field. Buxton to second. Francoeur still has a really good arm, and Buxton just barely got back. And a collision between Buxton and Beckham. And Buxton looks like he's okay. What an awkward way to go back into a second base bag.
But that is a great throw by Francoeur out in right field. Throw it right into the runner. Nunez hitting the ball sharply. Buxton does turn around the bag, gets back, but a quick tag and sweep right there by Beckham, but the ball out of the glove.
And now Mauer with 2 men on. Interesting. We showed you in the first inning at bat where the Braves were playing Mauer. They had him slightly to pull the ball. Now it's just the opposite. Center fielder Inciardi's about 5 steps toward left center. Joe put his hand up the bat barrel and took ball 1.
Yeah, Garcia at third base was playing behind the bag. I don't think it was a sacrifice situation, but it did bring Garcia in.
And a strike on the outside corner. Joe with 89 hits, but only 19 extra base hits. Two and one. Twins will go to Atlanta to play a couple of games later on this year.
Yeah, last time the Twins saw the Braves, it was in Atlanta in 2013 when the Braves swept the 3-game series.
Pick off to second. Step back with a hands first slide.
Yeah, Ibar kind of shaking his head up and down. Yeah, that's a perfect throw right there. A little daylight play between the pitcher and the shortstop. Ibar getting over. Good throw. That's where you want it. Buxton getting that right hand back on the bag.
2-1 to Mauer. 3-1 with Sano on deck. 2. Twins have some speed on the bases. And an intriguing possibility here. See Bauers hit well with a full count. 65 strikeouts, 64, and 360 at bats. Runners stay put. Bauer strikes out.
Good slider right there.
Up down. That'll bring up Sano. Probably a good thing that Twins didn't send the runners.
Morel picking up his first strikeout. Went with the fastball. Good location inside. Joe swinging through it. Second strikeout.
Here's Sano. He was the first strikeout victim in the first inning. His was the third, 1 out. Braves are playing the infield back. Wouldn't have taken much to get the Twins the first run, but Sano took a called third strike, and then Dozier bounced out. Sano hoping it's payback time. Outside corner. It's a quick breaking ball, a cutter of some sort with a little movement on it. Looked like it's the pitch that got Bauer. Cutting in on his left-handed swing. 1 strike. Runners go inside. Pierzynski's throwing plenty of time to get Buxton. Nunez at second, but now there are 2 gone. Counts 1-1 to Sano. First time that Buxton's been thrown out this year.
Perfect throw by A.J. Pierzynski. Well, Sano swings, takes it, and A.J. good throw over to Garcia. And a quick tag.
Now 1-2 to Sano. There's 2 batters, 2 fastest guys on the team got on base with nobody out. Blocked by Pierzynski, and Nunez to third. He'll reach. The count is 2-2. Bit of a gamble taken by Nunez there. Twins just committed their second out at third base, and Nunez on a pitch in the dirt took a chance.
Yeah, he's safe right there, and I think A.J. did not want to throw the ball. There's 2 outs, so what's the difference? I mean, you throw that ball down that left field line. A.J. may not have had a good grip on that baseball, decided to let Nunez get to third on the wild pitch.
2-2 to Sano. And a called third strike. Sano twice with a runner at third has been called out on strikes.
Target Field, where there is a brand new display just unveiled today near section 229 that celebrates that iconic Game 6 home run from Kirby Puckett. And Joe Reese from Wayzata was sitting in that very seat and ended up with Kirby's baseball. Joe, what was it like for you to be part of that magical moment?
Oh, Marnie, thank you. It was just an incredible experience. I mean, to be a small part of that moment. I remember catching the ball, opening the glove, and going, oh my gosh, and looking at it, and 55,000 people just going absolutely crazy because it ended the game. And it was from that point on, it was just a wonderful, fun experience, and having my family with me made it even that much more special.
Amazing. Thank you, Joe. Hey, Dick and Bert, Joe asked for nothing in return from Kirby Puckett that day, gave him the baseball back.
That's a great fan right there. What a great opportunity and experience for Joe and his family. Wow.
Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 is the count. A roller up the line by Freddie Freeman. Earlier this year when the Red Sox were here, I asked Chili Davis about his recollection of that, his counsel to Puckett before the at-bat. Kirby said, hey, Chili, I'll bunt and I'll steal second. You bring me in with a single. And rather coarse terminology, Chili said, get a changeup up and finish the game yourself. And that's exactly what Kirby did.
Well, Puck had a tough time against Lee Brandt, didn't he? Didn't he admit that he didn't pick up the ball? He did on that one.
1-2
back nicely.
And Freeman pulls it foul. Of course, the Twins are on the verge of elimination in Game 6, and that kept their hopes alive for one more day. And Jack Morris pitched his infamous game the next day.
Best game ever for Game 7 in the World Series, what Jack Morris did.
2-2 to Freeman, and a called third strike. One away, and Jack Morris offered his thoughts as Kirby's home run gave him one more start in '91.
Nobody in our dugout doubted that Puck couldn't do that, and he rose to the occasion. He got the big hit, and immediately a calmness came over to me. I wanted to start the game right there. It's like, why do we have to wait all night? Everybody in this place is going to be back tomorrow night. Everybody on that team, everybody in this team, we're all going to be back. Let's go ahead and start tonight. Why wait? It's the waiting sometimes that gets to players and everybody else because it builds anxiety. With that being said, I still had a ultimate calmness come over me, like that day was meant for me. And I slept well, I ate well, and I was ready and prepared the next night.
Boy, was he ever.
Jack tells a poignant story about having breakfast with his family and his dad just staring at him during breakfast, and Jack says, oh, Dad, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. We're going to win. 2-0 to Markakis. On the ground, Dozier with another nice backhanded pickup and flip on target. He's made that play twice already tonight.
They got Francoeur in the second inning on a ball up the middle. This one a little bit on the second base side, but again, Brian Dozier going to his right and getting that little short hop and an all-in-one motion, quick flip over to Mauer.
2 down in the fourth, and that'll bring up Adonis Garcia. One other thought about Game 6 as it turned into eventually Game 7. There's a fly ball to right. That thought might have to wait. This ball deep. On the edge of the track, Kepler puts it away. It's another quick inning as the Braves go quickly in the top of the fourth. Nothing lead as the Twins get ready to hit in the bottom of the 4th inning. A Carsoup.com trivia question: which player had the most hits in the 1991 World Series? Well, Kirby got 4 of them in Game 6, but I'm guessing that he's not the answer. Now, it didn't even say, for instance, that it was a Twins batter, because I think it is a Braves hitter. And I'll reserve my guess for when we give the answer. 1-0 to Brian Dozier. Max Kepler, Kenny Vargas will follow. And a strike, 1-1. Started to say as Game 6 eventually rolled into Game 7. And everybody, of course, asking Jack Morris about pitching Game 7. Jack issued a quote in the words of the late great Marvin Gaye, "Let's get it on," speaking to his desire to play Game 7 right away. Well, then he comes out on the field at the Metrodome, and as he goes down the left field line of the bullpen, the Dome Vision people played the song Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," and those of us who were paying attention, ground ball left side and into the left field past Ibar. Those of us who were paying attention immediately had the hair on our arms raised when we heard the song. A leadoff single for Dozier in the 4th.
You know, Dick, and I can guarantee you Jack Morris did not hear that song. I don't know.
I asked him about it.
I bet you he did not hear it.
He said, "I had no idea that they did that." He was so locked in.
Yep.
Dozier with a leadoff single, and now Max Kepler.
3rd hit for the Twins, all of them singles so far.
Kepler squares and takes ball 1. You on the pitching side always talk about making adjustments. Roy Smalley, from a hitter standpoint, talks about the need to make adjustments, and I think that's what we're seeing unfold in front of our eyes for Max Kepler. Chopper, Freeman with the catch and a throw to get 1. No return throw.
That was a nice play by Freeman right there. He threw a bullet over to Ibar, who was there, of course, for the force out at second.
Friday, when the Twins battle the Sox, experience Target Field like never before. Be one of the first 5,000 fans at the game, and you'll receive a free virtual reality viewer courtesy of Fox Sports North and T-Mobile. He'll be alongside Trevor May as he arrives at the ballpark, greets teammates in the clubhouse, takes BP, heads out onto the field. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events tab for details. 1 down, 1 on, and here's Kenny Vargas. Sinking line drive single to right, his first time up. Up and away, ball 1. Numbers are all speaking to Vargas's improvement. Inside. Made quite a splash 2 years ago after his midseason call-up, and struggled last year and spent the rest of the year at AAA. Started this year at AAA.
One thing he really worked on was just making better contact, and you know, he likes Sano. They're so big. So of course the Twins looking for the power out of these two guys, and strikeouts are part of their game.
3-0 to Vargas, who might be green lighted here. Down the middle. Twins swapping out Byung-Ho Park for Vargas. Vargas hitting the way the Twins thought that Park might eventually. And now Park is hitting in AAA. 5 home runs in his last 6 games. Not striking out as much. And Vargas takes a walk. Well, Harold doing his best to get the Twins on the board here. It's just the Twins haven't taken advantage of the opportunities yet.
Yeah, 3 walks for Harold right here, but you know, he's been able to make some big pitches when he's needed to.
Rosario with a fly to left his first time up.
one time the Twins saw Harold when he was with the Houston Astros. He appeared with the Astros against the Twins 3 times in relief back in 2013.
Strike on the outside corner.
Up and down with the Chicago White Sox back in 2010 and 11. Also with the Astros, in and out of the rotation, in the bullpen. This is his 67th major league start, his 93rd game overall. 19 wins, 35 losses.
Fouled back. He got a pitch up and fouled it straight back. Now he'll try to have a productive at bat, hitting out of an 0-2 hole.
Harold has only one complete game, and that was a shutout back in 2012 when he shut out the Padres 1-0. 6-hit shutout back in 2012.
Twins hitless with runners in scoring position so far tonight. And Rosario strikes out. 2 down.
It's almost the same pitch that struck out Joe Mauer, something that just stayed inside. Little cutter. And a 4th strikeout.
And now Suzuki.
Back inside.
Suzuki with a fly to center his first time up. Kind of a flat start to the game for the Twins. Giving up a couple of early runs. Braves have really struggled this year with runners in scoring position, and the Twins catching the bug. On the outside corner, a strike.
Last time the Braves were here in 2010, they won 2 of the 3 ball games. Overall, this is the 13th meeting between these 2 teams since interleague play was put into play. Twins have won 5. They have lost 7.
Fouled away, and now Suzuki's behind in the count, 0-2. Yeah, they won 2 out of 3 here, the last 2, and then the 3 in Atlanta. So not that it matters, but Braves have actually beaten the Twins 5 games in a row. Ryan Snitker and just about every one of the players, none of them were here for either one of those series. Could be said of the Twins as well. 0-2. Popped up near the mound. Freeman with the call right in front of the mound. The Twins leave 2 more aboard, and it's still 2-0.
the 5th inning, and we are in the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle. We have $100 worth of scratch-off tickets from the Kellen family, who is here representing 3 generations and 3 different states. And Cindy is the group spokesman here. How did all 3 states, which are Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota, end up at a Twins game in Minnesota?
Well, we're all Twins fans, and we like to hang out. So what better way? That's why we came here.
So you're all just hanging out at the Twins game?
We're hanging out at a Twins game.
7 strong. Dick and Bert, they represent 3 decades of family members just meeting in the middle in Minnesota.
That's right.
Oh, that is awesome. You were all hereby circled.
1-0 to Ender Inciarte, the leadoff man for the Braves in the 5th. And Brian Dozier gets another chance to make the same play. 3 for 3, going to his right, throwing across his body on target.
And Inciarte gets down that line very quickly. So Brian Dozier again for the 3rd time going to his right, getting that little short hop, all in one motion, able to get his weight on that right foot that's running toward left field, and then still get something on that ball. 3 outstanding plays by Dozier.
He made that play on Frank Coeur his first time up. Now it's a ground ball to Sano, who fields and throws. And Sano makes that play easily. 2 down.
Well, Irvin Santana, even though he is down 2-0, he has been very stingy as far as pitches he has thrown. Only 37 and 26. He started off with 12 in the first. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's way too many. So he went 6, 6, and 10. And so far 3 here in the 5th with 2 outs.
Now you face Pierzynski. You got a double that really wasn't. Ball grounded foul right out of the batter's box, and then a landed foul, second hop beyond the first base bag. But first base umpire Doug Edding said it was a double. And then eventually on a ground ball double play, Pierzynski scored the 2nd. Atlanta run now lofted to right. Kepler comes in, makes a sliding catch in right field. The Braves go down 1-2-3. A good play by Brian Dozier. The inning ends with a great play by Max Kepler. Mountain Dew fans of the game hoping the Twins can come back and win this ball game, and they got the eye black patches on. They're ready to go. Yeah. Byron Buxton drew a leadoff walk, ended up being thrown out at third base trying to steal his first throw out of the year. He'll lead off the 5th with the Twins down 2-0, showing a bunt, taking strike 1. Buxton, Nunez, and Mauer. Lucas Harrell has given the Twins opportunities that they have not taken advantage of yet to this point. 1-1.
Again, Harrell has 4 strikeouts, and they've come at the right time with runners on base.
Sano twice looking. Swinging strikeouts of Mauer and Rosario. And a called strike. It's 1-2.
And that is one thing that Buxton really needs to work on, is if you're going to show bunt like that with his speed, just do it. We just have not seen him utilize any type of bunting capabilities. So many times he'll run through it but not make contact with that ball.
Now 2-2. Fouled back.
Harrell was 75 pitches, 43 strikes, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's given up 3 hits, all singles.
And now 3-2. Right up the middle, a base hit. Good at bat for Buxton as he fell behind, worked the count full, and took it right over the pitching rubber.
Yeah, it looked like a cutter slider that just stayed on the same plane, so Buxton able to get good wood on it and hit it right back up the middle. 4th hit for the Twins, and the 4th single. Nice at bat, reaching out and hitting it, even though it looked off the end of the bat, right up the middle.
Well, the leadoff man is on for the 4th time tonight. Nunez with a walk and a single. Twins have stolen second on Pierzynski, actually twice with the double steal. Although Nunez doesn't get credit for a stolen base. And they've been thrown out trying to steal third base. Ball 1.
Nunez came into the ball game hitting .298 with that base hit. Back at .300. The All-Star representative this year for the Twins. And Buxton getting some attention over at first. Harrell utilizing that slide step.
Inside again. It's interesting, you look at the Twins season and we're seeing the lineup be much more productive. The top 2 RBI guys are guys who have been their primary leadoff batters. Brian Dozier with 51 runs batted in, and then Nunez with 46. That's not how you draw it up.
No.
2-1. Harrell, it seems, has been pitching from the stretch all night long. He's already up to 80 pitches, and his mound opponent Santana's completed 5 innings and fewer than half that number of pitches.
Yeah, 39.
To Nunez. Foul back just beneath us. Oh, nice one-handed catch.
Oh my goodness. Young man just stuck up his right hand and ball fell right into it. Wow. If he's a little bit older, he could be in our fantasy camp. But he's only like 14.
Well, he caught the ball, so that disqualifies him right there.
That's true. Take that all back then.
2-2 to Nunez. Ground ball to short. And Buxton is retired at second base on a close play.
Yeah, it looked like Ibar had a little trouble getting that ball out, and then he threw a rocket to Beckham covering second base. Ibar had to come hard in and get it on that short hop. And then right there you can see took him a little bit longer, but Buxton hustling into second base, but he's out as a force out.
Now Nunez at first, one down, and Mauer at the plate.
Keep an eye on Nunez. He stole a base in the first inning. Ran on the first pitch, which he likes to do. Within the first 2 or 3 pitches, he usually likes to take off.
Back to the force play at second base. Beckham very happy that the new slide rule into second base was in place. He was exposed there in the old days. On a close play like that,
He might be out in left field.
and so in the interest of preserving the health of players, it's a good rule for a play exactly like that. And if anything more aggressive than what Buxton did had been executed by the runner, then the double play could have been called. Mauer takes up and away, ball 1. Joe, the warning track fly ball to left that advanced Nunez from second to third, but then he struck out swinging with 2 runners on in the third. 2 speedy runners. There goes Nunez, and the pitch taken outside. Nunez has another steal of second base.
And stolen base number 26 for Eduardo Nunez.
With that, he's passed Altuve for the league lead, depending on what Altuve's done tonight.
Right. Well, again, second or third pitch. There he goes. Good jump. You know, Aaron Hemi did everything he could. Slide step the throw high from A.J. Brzezinski. You saw Ibar leap right there. Gets into scoring position with 1 out.
Nunez with Ibar sneaking behind him now at second base. Mauer, line drive knocked down by Harrell, and he saved himself perhaps a run scoring. Catch it on the fly. Nunez scampered to third, but again, now there are 2 out.
Yeah, I don't know where that got him.
Comes the trainer out
Yeah.
too.
It looked like he got glove on it, but it might got part of his body. Maybe the shin area.
Well hit ball that might very well have skipped up the middle, although you see Ibar probably would be in position there to have cut that ball off anyway.
It looked like it got part of the glove, and then if he catches that in the air, it's an easy double play. Ball did hit his glove and then carry him over to third base side, and he got the out at first.
And retreating to home plate, Jeff Nelson says this was not a trip to the mound. They just wanted to go out and check, make sure he was okay. In fact, Brian Snitker never got to the mound. Well, we're under a third, 2 down. Sano at the plate again. Struck out looking in the first, struck out looking in the third. Fouled back, and that was the pitch he was waiting for. 1 strike. Off the plate, 1-1.
Harrell, 31 years old, signed by the White Sox in 2004 out of Ozark High School in Ozark, Missouri.
2-1. Don't know this, but I'm guessing that's now by the Lake of the Ozarks, down in the southwestern part of the
Assuming
state.
it is, yeah. Born in Springfield, Missouri.
2-1 to Miguel Sano. Teased him with something off the plate. Another swing and a miss. 2-2.
That little cutter slider right there. Good location on that pitch. Straight over the top, created a good angle toward home plate.
2-2 to Miguel Sano. Fly ball right field. Francoeur comes in. The Twins squander another scoring opportunity in the fifth. They trail 2-0. On Fox Sports North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. What's yours? Now, the Twins hoping for a good homestand here. Couple with Atlanta, one with Baltimore on Thursday. Makeup of a rained out game, and then 3 with the White Sox. So far, it's kind of a sluggish start to the game for the Twins. They trail 2-0. They're out hitting the Braves 4-3.
Well, again, they've had some scoring opportunities almost every inning, but Aaron's done a good job of shutting the door.
Hook foul, and it's 0-2. Meanwhile, Santana has hardly worked up a sweat on a hot, muggy night. He's only thrown 41 pitches.
You know, when you see that, 39 pitches after 5 innings, I think right away Randy Jones or Greg Maddux, guys that didn't use a lot of pitches to get through 8 or 9 innings.
Breaking ball down and in. 1-2. I mean, this constitutes a deep count tonight, and it's 1-2. And 2.
And Ibar laying off those 2 breaking balls down and in. So 2 pretty good pitches that Ibar laid off. He got a base hit up the middle in his first at bat.
Former teammates with the Angels for a lot of years. That's down the line, foul.
Hey, Ibar coming over in that Simmons trade that brought Simmons over to the Angels. Ibar spent a little bit of time this year on a disabled list. Contusion on the right foot. Missed 15 days. Going fastball inside.
On the ground. Hit right at Dozier. He waits and flips. 1 down.
Jammed Ibar right there.
If you're the Braves and you're in rebuilding mode, you acquire someone like Ibar in the hopes of getting some phone calls about him this time of year. But Ibar hitting in the low 200s. You can see the starters so far. Harrell with shutout ball through 590 pitches thrown, and Santana's thrown exactly half that number.
But it's Harrell that has the 2-0 lead.
Strike 1 to Jace Peterson. Line to left in the first. Bounced into a double play to to Nunez in the third. A run scored on the play, but of course, no run batted in. That one served into center field, a 1-out single. That'll bring up Gordon Beckham.
Peterson picking up his first hit in his second season with the Braves, coming over in the Upton trade, the Justin Upton trade.
Praise FM invites you to Faith Night 2016. Post-game event following the August 13th game between the Twins and the Royals. You can enjoy the game and then stay for post-game live worship music and appearances by Brian Dozier, Kyle Gibson, and some other special guests. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/faithnight. Beckham struck out in the first, hit a fly ball to left in the third. Twins have been playing a pretty good baseball going back to the middle of June, and in July they're 12-8. Braves are just 6-14. Off the outside corner. And prior to this game, Santana in his last 6 starts, just 9 earned runs allowed in 40 innings pitched. He's been really, really good.
2 wins, 1 loss in those 6 starts. The sad part is, yeah, he hasn't had a lot of run support from time to time. He's had his bad outings, but the Twins are only 4-14 when he starts. 3-8 for Santana's record coming into this ball game.
Got Jeff Nelson, a foul ball, 1-1. See an ERA of under 4 and yet 8 losses. The American League ERA is 4.22. So Santana a little bit better than that. And then he's got a losing record. Beckham backs out, make sure Jeff Nelson is okay. 1-1.
Peterson at first base. He has 1 stolen base, but he's been caught 4 times.
Another flip to first.
Better not throw over there too many times. He'll have more throws to first than he does to home. Pitch number 50.
Foul away. Santana's pitching performances of late has put him in a rather curious position, and the Twins for that matter. Teams in need of starting pitching, veteran starting pitching, I'm sure have called the Twins about Santana.
Yeah, could this be his last start in a Twins uniform?
1-2 to Beckham. A throw to first. From the Twins standpoint, and interim general manager Rob Antony addressed it in the dugout this afternoon. Why would we, the Twins, trade Santana and then go into the free agent market in the offseason to replace him? Beckham with a swing and a miss and a strikeout, 2 down.
3rd strikeout for Santana, getting Beckham for the 2nd time.
There's Rob Antony in the booth all by himself without Terry Ryan. He's really had Terry sitting next to him. But in to Rob's point, why would you trade Santana unless you got substantial return and then go into the open market this offseason at higher prices than you entered in 2 years ago to replace a guy you've got under contract for 2 more years? The Twins have an option for yet another year. Long run for Sano, and that ball lands back in the seats.
Yeah, Santana signing that 4-year contract with the option for 2019, $13.5 million a year. And you're getting a guy that, you know, if he's healthy, he's going to give you 200 innings. And as you've seen that market increase, what will that bring if you have to replace a Santana? You might have to pay, you know, 15, 16 million, maybe more.
Down and in. Fox Tracks presented by Chrysler.
Santana here tonight, his 332nd major league start. He has 129 wins, 113 losses. Had a shutout here earlier this year. He has 8 shutouts, one of them actually coming against the Braves when he was with the Angels back in 2011 in Anaheim. 4-hit shutout over the Braves.
Pitch is up. It's 2-1.
The only player on the Braves club is probably this guy right here. Freeman was with the Braves in 2011.
Frank Cooper was with the Royals at the time. Bounced foul. Two and two. Santana hoping to wrap up his 6th inning of work on just his 56th pitch of the night. That's hit to center, left center, and Rosario comes in. 4 Twins converge, and the catch is made by Sano. And all 4 players appear to be okay. Rosario went down. He went underneath Sano.
Thank goodness.
And that's not a bad place to go if you're hearing Miguel Sano in your general direction. In Minnesota, can you travel into the solitude of the Gunflint Trail and the pristine wilderness of the BWCA? Aside from the overall nature experience, there are many side activities and conquests for your trip. Berry picking, biking, birding, canoeing, kayaking, fishing, hiking, and horseback riding. But best of all, the Gunflint Trail will wash away your worries and stress. Find endless ideas for your perfect getaway at exploreminnesota.com. Share your favorites with #OnlyInMN. Miguel Sano's had some adventures with pop-ups, but that was a nice play in short left field.
That was a nice play. Eddie Rosario got very lucky. He was calling Sano off, but Sano stayed with it. Take a look right here. Rosario, you can almost see him screaming right there. I've got it, I've got it. But Sano reached out, and thank goodness Rosario clipped Sano. And Sano went back on his backside. Luckily, they're okay. I think that's one of the scariest plays in baseball, when an infielder has to go out and you have a couple outfielders converging. I mean, right there was 4 of them going after that baseball.
2-1 to Dozier. And a strike call, 2-2. Dozier, Kepler, Vargas, middle of the Twins lineup, trying to do some damage against Lucas Harrell. Foul back. Twins have had the leadoff man in 4 of the 5 innings. Not just leadoff men, but leadoff men with speed. Buxton twice.
Nunez to lead off the first.
Up and away now, 3-2.
Merrill getting to that 100 pitch limit.
And foul down the right side, out of play.
Now this is only his 5th start for the Braves. In his 2nd start coming in Chicago against the Cubs, he threw 113 pitches. Had a no decision in a Braves extra inning win over the Cubs.
It's hit to right field, and Francoeur retreats near the track. 1 down. That'll bring up Max Kepler. Saturday, July 30th, the Twins take on the White Sox. The first 10,000 fans get a Snow Globe presented by Toro. For tickets, go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets or call 800-33-TWINS. Kind of a curious giveaway, something I bet has only been done in Minnesota. A baseball player Snow Globe.
Think he's ever seen snow? Well, on the Caravan, maybe.
Yeah, well, and I think in the Midwest League, he would have. Here is Kepler, 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls to the right side. In that White Sox series, by the way, the Twins aren't expected to face Chris Sale. He's supposed to pitch Thursday against the Cubs.
After his 5-game suspension.
Now, what'd you think about all that? The whole business of him refusing to put on the throwback jerseys and cutting them up in the clubhouse.
I can see you can refuse. I don't know. I don't know why he would do what he did. That childlike, I guess. I don't know. I was not there. I know Chris Sale is one of the spokesperson for the Chicago White Sox. He's come out against, remember, Adam LaRoche's
right on the ground again to the right side, picked up by Beckham.
Deal in spring training.
2 down. I'll bring up Vargas. Well, it put the team in a terrible spot because they basically had a bullpen game without a starting pitcher and at very short notice. And I think everyone has said all the right things of Sale, kind of a non-apology apology, but in terms of what it does to him on the trade market, absolutely nothing. If the White Sox are overwhelmed by an offer for Sale, they'll consider trading him, I suppose, but
it's going to have to be a pretty good offer.
Wow. 1-0 to Vargas. Popped up left field. Merrill's been struggling all night long, and now he has a 1-2-3 6th inning. On to the 7th. It's 2-0 Atlanta.
Yeah, that's his first 1-2-3 inning.
the game with the Braves up 2-0.
Yeah, home run by Garcia in the second inning made it a 1-0 ball game. Then in the next inning, A.J. Pierzynski started off with a ball that landed foul territory and a stayed foul, but he got a double. But Lucas Heron has been outstanding. 4 strikeouts. They've come all at the right time with runners in scoring position. Twins are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position after 6 innings.
6 shutout innings for Harrell against the Twins. Looks like he's done. Nick Markakis will lead off the 7th against Irvin Santana. Markakis, Garcia, and Inciarte facing Santana. Off the plate, ball 1. Hey, it's good to have you back, but how was Cooperstown?
Oh, it was outstanding. I'll tell you, Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey Jr., very emotional speeches. And they were tearing up within 10 seconds of once they hit the podium. It was unbelievable. And what I will remember of the speeches, and we're sitting in the back, we don't get to hear it.
Do you have sunglasses on?
Yes, I did.
They all.
We all had sunglasses
I think
on.
they issue you sunglasses once you get into the Hall of Fame,
yeah,
don't they?
You get your own sunglasses, yeah. And you leave them in a locker there. But the relationship between Mike Piazza and his father, I mean, his father sitting right in front of us in the first row, of course, his family. And he was tearing up and almost like a bawling type of celebration. It was a beautiful thing.
2-1 to Markakis and now a strike.
And we had a lot of guys there. 51 former Hall of Famers were there. So represented very nicely. And Jane Forbes Clark of Cooperstown, that owns Cooperstown and the museum, and Jeff Idelson, they put on a first-class show. Over 50,000 people were there.
3-2 to Markakis. He'll be followed by Garcia and Inciarte.
I know you have been there a couple times.
Well, I've been lucky because I was there for Harmon's induction in '84. He was my broadcast partner, and then I was there for your induction as my broadcast partner. Strike 3 call with Santana shaving the outside corner.
And strikeout number 4 for Johan. Markakis doesn't like it, but it looks like a perfect pitch.
It's the difference between ball 4 and a leadoff walk, or strike 3 and the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Garcia. Well, how'd you get through your speech? To take a look at it. Oh, it's down and away. It wasn't that close.
You know what? I mean, because Suzuki, I thought, did a good job of holding it there for a second. It looked like he pulled it up a little bit, but nice pitch.
Harmon broke down during his speech back in 1984, talking about his family and his mother and father raising the boys and all that. And there you were with your mom, resplendent in her beautiful hat and dress in the front row. And how in the world did you get through that? Did you? I bet you didn't even look at her, did you?
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, they said, you know, don't look at your family right off the get-go, and that's what Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza said they did. As soon as they saw their family, they knew the importance. I thought it was great.
High fly left center field into the twilight. Buxton over. Rosario lost that ball for a while, but Buxton tracked it all the way. 2 down. And that'll bring up Inciarte. Going back to our carsoup.com trivia question, I believe the answer is Mark Lemke. He had a whale of a series for the Braves, and had the Braves won game 6 or 7, he might have been named the MVP. No, it was Terry Pendleton, who was a teammate of Mark Lemke's.
Yes, he was. Pendleton now the bench coach for the Braves. Boy, he could hit.
Two down, and now Inciarte. And I've had some casual conversations with Pendleton, but I've never had what it takes to just go up and ask him how he felt about the Metrodome. Because he was on the '87 Cardinals too, and could only, as a switch hitter, of course, he could only hit one-sided.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
Yep.
Could only hit, I believe, right-handed.
Was it Pendleton that the tarp ran over him?
No, Vince Coleman.
Was that Coleman?
That was
okay,
a couple
Coleman.
years before that.
Okay.
Pendleton saw the Twins win games 6 and 7 against the Cardinals, and game 6 and 7 against the Braves. And now 3-1 to Inciarte with 2 gone in the 7th.
You know, I was in 2 World Series, and both times we had to win, you know, 6 and 7 to win.
Base hit for Inciarte, and now Francoeur. It was Pendleton who hit the drive to left center field. Lonnie Smith was at first. Did they deke him? Did Chuck Knobloch and Greg Gagne deke him? Hold him up at second base so he can only go to third?
You see the little hesitation right there. Wow.
But he never lost. I mean, you look, he saw Gagne coming across. He rounded the bag. He was tracking the ball out in left center. So Lonnie Smith did not score on that ball. Then we eventually, of course, had a 10th inning, and Dan Gladden did score on a fly ball to left.
Off the bat of Gene Larkin,
who threw out the ceremonial first pitch here tonight. Swing and a miss by Francoeur. Braves out hitting the Twins 5-4, but the Twins have been shut out through 6 innings. Same pitch, same swing, same result.
2 good sliders. Do you do it again? You laid off of that one.
One and two.
Francoeur and Santana were teammates in Kansas City in 2013. The only season Santana pitched for the Royals. And Suzuki sitting away again.
And up the middle, a solid single.
They stayed with a slider, and Francoeur, credit him. He went down and hit that ball sharply up the middle. Second time he's taken a ball up the middle, and remember, in his first at bat, Dozier made that great play up the middle. This one, not a bad slider, but you can see Francoeur how he's just leaning out over the plate. Almost looked like he's looking for it, and he hit it sharply.
Might have been looking for it because he threw it to him three pitches in a row before that. Pierzynski with a double that never was grounded in fair territory, eventually scoring a run in the second. Then he lined to Kepler, who made a nice diving catch to end the inning. Ball 1. Well, certainly a delicate spot here for Santana because he's already down 2-0. Tapper to second. Dozier with plenty of time. 2 left aboard. See if the Twins can get something on the board in the bottom of the 7th. Baseball, Jed Jerko's really swinging the bat well for the Cardinals. 7 home runs in his last 9 games, and after a rocky start with the White Sox, James Shields is pitching like the James Shields of old. And all-star catcher Wilson Ramos in Cleveland, his 15th home run of the year, 54 runs batted in for the Nationals catcher. Santana pitched around a couple of 2-out singles, and now the Twins, who couldn't do anything against Lucas Harrell, will try to do something against hard-throwing right-hander Mauricio Cabrera.
Yeah, Cabrera just 22 years old in his rookie season with the Braves. Spent the first part of the year down in the minor leagues, AAA, and then called up on June 27th, making just his 13th major league appearance.
He'll light up the radar gun. He can throw it over 100 miles per hour.
A young man from the Dominican Republic.
There's Rosario 0 for 2. And that clocked at 100. And called a strike. Rosario 0 for 2. And Suzuki and Buxton.
Braves have an 8-man bullpen. 4 left-handers, 4 right-handers.
Hook foul. Whatever it was, his off-speed pitch is 91, and it was lined foul.
He's called up from Double-A back on June 27th.
1-2. 101, but wide. Foul tip. Pierzynski can't hang on. Last year, Rosario had 453 at bats, and he had 46 extra base hits. That's the measuring stick I kind of like. You have 1 extra base hit for every 10 at bats. You're doing some damage. And so far this year, Rosario's a little bit underneath that, 174 at bats and just 15 extra base hits.
Yeah, 18 doubles, 15 triples. With his 13 home runs.
2-2. And strike 3, 1 away.
Came back with another changeup, and Rosario swings through it. So Cabrera comes in out of the bullpen, picks up a strikeout.
We'll bring up Suzuki. Suzuki is 0 for 2. A fly to center and a pop up to first. Pop up to first was actually right in front of the pitcher's mound. Bounced foul.
And we saw he made the trade of Chapman from the Yankees to the Cubs, and he'll throw over, what, 104 we showed. A young man like this, only 22 years old. Cabrera. I always think of Nolan Ryan, how he could maintain that velocity at over 100 for 9 innings.
And Suzuki drives one into the left field corner. Rounding first, he's got an extra base hit with 1 out here in the 7th inning.
First extra base hit for the Twins, their 5th in the ball game. And he turned on 101 fastball, and he hit it right down that left field line.
We saw him turn around Aroldis Chapman earlier this year.
Got to be quick, I'm sure. I don't know if I've ever faced 100 miles an hour. I did face Nolan though before.
I'm guessing.
I can honestly say I never struck out against him.
Really?
Yeah.
You bunted.
Yes. You're darn right I did.
And there was nobody on base.
No.
Here's Buxton. He's singled to center sharply. after drawing a walk on 5 pitches in the third. Down and in, ball 1. Twins have been hitless with runners in scoring position tonight, with ample opportunity. Wow. Pierzynski with a nice block. That ball landed 2 feet in front of the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball right there. We mainly seen the fastball, then the changeup, and the breaking ball landed in front of home plate. But AJ turning his body and utilizing that chest protector to deaden the ball. And Suzuki has to stay at second.
2-0. Strike call. And now 2-2. Nunez on deck. Two and two to Byron Buxton. Off the plate on a close play.
That slider just misses there.
3-2. Twins took a walk in the first inning, got a single in the second, a walk and a single in the third, walk and a single in the fourth, single in the fifth, and now a 1-out double.
I've seen 101 mile an hour fastball, 85 mile an hour breaking ball.
And the breaking ball strikes him out.
Went back with it at 85 miles an hour. Well, Cabrera picks up his second strikeout.
And that'll leave this 7th inning rally, if you will, to Nunez.
You saw AJ go out there and a little smile of Cabrera to AJ as he kept his mask on. But what, they can say what they want about AJ Pierzynski, but even as a Twins and throughout his 19 years at the major league level, I've always felt he is an outstanding game caller.
Here's Nunez. Has walked, singled, reached on a fielder's choice. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. And a slower breaking ball over for a strike.
It's that slider again.
High fly to left field. And Peterson is back short of the track to make the catch.
Yeah, got in the kitchen a little bit.
Twins shut out through 7 here, trailing the Braves 2-0.
With your Mall of America Studio Sports Update. Tomorrow on Twins Live, we'll relive one of the best games ever played. Game 7 of the 1991 World Series. Gene Larkin will talk about his game-winning hit, and John Smoltz and our Jack Morris will talk about the pitching. Wow, what a game.
I watch replays of that, and I still get nervous watching it, even though I know how it turns out.
You know what, 25 years ago, I guarantee you another 25 years, if the Twins don't play the Braves, they'll still talk, and we play the Braves 25 years from now, they'll still talk about Game 7 and the whole series.
Santana against Ibar to start the 8th inning. You know, I remember thinking, well, the Twins have a clear advantage with veteran Jack Morris on the mound against this kid Smoltz. John Smoltz wasn't a kid. By the time he'd, gone through the 91 season and pitched through the playoffs and into the World Series, he had accumulated over 700 innings in the big leagues. That year in 1991, he pitched 229 and 2/3 innings. He pitched 231 and 1/3 innings the year before. Fly ball left field, hanging in the air for Rosario. It's just we didn't know much about the Braves. He pitched in obscurity because the Braves were so bad. And Jack was on some pretty good teams with the Tigers, got into the playoffs a couple of times. And just the idea that, well, the Twins had a big advantage because big veteran Jack Morris against this kid John Smoltz. Well, he'd established himself already as one of the best starters in the National League.
Him and he was kind of shadowed because of Glavine and Maddox too. Those two guys. And think about Smoltz. You think how nervous he was going into the ballgame. He may talk about that because he was from Michigan. He watched Jack grow up, and pitch for the Tigers. And he pitched great. Pitched great in that series.
Toe to toe.
Yep.
Against Jack Morris. 1-1 to Chase Peterson. Meanwhile, Ervin Santana is pitching one of his better games, although he's trailing 2-0. Another real good start for Santana.
Really, only damage was Garcia's home run. It's kind of a gift double to AJ that he later scored on the double play. Other than that, Ervin has been outstanding.
Dozier with a nice running catch of a very soft line drive. John Smoltz talked about his mound opponent in Game 7 of 91.
The best performance I've ever seen in my life. I've seen great performances. Under the circumstances, what he dealt with, hometown, he was the magician, and I've known that from watching him in the Tiger days. He had a desire and a meanness and a tenacity that you just weren't. You're gonna have to beat Jack Morris. He wasn't gonna beat himself.
He's absolutely right, John. Of course, John Smoltz put into the Hall of Fame.
1-0 to Beckham, and now a foul ball. Beckham on the night struck out in the first, hit a fly ball to left in the third, and then struck out again in the sixth.
Yeah, Santana has 4 strikeouts, 2 of them being Beckham.
2-1.
Yeah, Beckham came over the White Sox back in 2009. In his first year with the Braves, signed as a free agent, 1-year contract.
Popped up down the right field line. Kepler will run out of room. Actually closer to Mauer, the first baseman. Chris Withrow and Hunter Cervenka. Two.
You can see with Santana's last couple innings, 17-20, but prior to that, the first 5 innings, a total of 39 pitches in the first 5 innings.
2 6-pitch innings and a 5-pitch inning, and now a 1-2-3-8. See if the Twins can get him some runs, starting with Mauer, Sano, and Dozier in the bottom of the 8th.
The bottom of the 8th inning, and Minnesota would love a rally here. Coming up after the game, we will bring you Twins Live presented by CenturyLink and look at what has been a pitcher's duel so far here tonight. In particular, we'll look at the performance of Ervin Santana, who's allowed just 6 hits and 2 runs. Only 88 pitches for Irv through his 7 innings of work. Plus, Brian Dozier and his fantastic defense tonight. He's made the same play 3 times, sliding to his backhand, making the stop and the out at first. And we'll hear from the manager, Paul Molitor. All of that is after the game, Dick and Bert.
All right, thank you, Marty. Hunter Cervenka coming in. He will face Joe Mauer, Sano, Dozier, at least Mauer.
Well, Cervenka in his rookie season with the Braves, part of that bullpen, getting called up in the middle of April. Fastball, slider.
One and 0. Driven to left. Peterson back and over. Leaps and makes a tremendous catch on the edge of the warning track. What a catch by Jace Peterson.
That is an outstanding catch right there by the speedster Peterson. It almost looked like he was going to time his leap, and he timed it perfectly. Joe hitting this ball sharply. Peterson hustling over, and right there he knew he had to jump and leap to catch this ball. It looked like he hit it right in the middle of the glove. So a nice running catch by Peterson. And he gets congratulated by his pitcher.
Who now promptly comes out of the ball game. Cervenka was asked to get Bauer, and he gave up a bullet to left field. Peterson made the catch, 1 away. Go. Peterson got an awfully important one on what could have been a double, instead 1 down. Now Chris Withrow will come out of the Atlanta bullpen, trying to get after Sano and Dozier. Withrow's been outstanding for the Braves as of late.
Well, you know, he started in AAA, got called up in April, sent back down the latter part of April, recalled, and he has really pitched well in this first season with the Braves, coming over from the Dodger organization, where he spent part of 2013 and 14 with the Dodgers.
16 of his last 17 outings have been scoreless. Sano fouls the first pitch back to the screen.
Scouting report on Withrow, and a fastball clocked as high as 99, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Born in Austin, Texas, just 27 years old.
Popped up, foul, and out of play.
He was a Dodgers #1 pick back in 2007 out of Midland High School in Midland, Texas.
2 strikes to Sano. 2 strikeouts and a fly ball so far for the Twins third baseman. Checked his swing and a third, called third strike for Miguel Sano.
Hard slider right there. Sano takes it, and Withrow picks up a strikeout.
Perfect spot. 2 down, and now Dozier. Dozier with a single and 3 trips. That's with just 5 hits, 4 singles, and a double. Never had more than 1 hit in an inning tonight. Ball 1. The outside corner.
Oh, good fastball. Good running fastball right there, down and away.
Tapper left side. Easy play for Ibar. And the Braves will take a 2-0 lead to the 9th. Santana's been really, really good for the Twins, with no run support, and he trails 2-0.
Well, that's all you can do, is exactly what Santana's done here tonight. Keep your club in the game. He did give up that home run to Garcia, and then, you know, Pazinski scoring on the double play. But other than that, Santana has been outstanding. He's given up 6 hits, a home run, a double. Other ones were singles.
Freddie Freeman will lead off the 9th for Atlanta. The Twins are still hopeful of coming back and winning this game, but this has just been kind of a flat game for the Twins. 0 for 11 with men in scoring position after a series in Boston where they had plenty of clutch hits along the way, and that's what we've seen from the Twins more often than not over the last month or so. Much better clutch hitting. The Twins went to Texas, won the series down there, went to Boston, probably should have won the series there. Ball hit up the middle, and that's kicked it short by Nunez.
Yeah, I bet you that ball had a lot of spin on it right there.
And he error charged at Nunez here to lead off the 9th inning. That ball, one of the hops might have hit the mound and picked up some spin.
Right here, looks like Freeman got jammed a little bit. But the ball kind of came up on Nunez at the last second as he got in front of it. The ball just kind of bounced up and hit the heel of his glove. So for Nunez, that's his 11th error, and for the Twins, they're 71st. That's too many. That's the most in the American League.
Markakis 0 for 3. It was talked about and written about after the Twins left Texas. Well, how could the Rangers, the first place ball club, lose 3 out of 4 to the Minnesota Twins? It was talked about in Boston and written about. How could the Twins come into Fenway Park and outplay the Red Sox for most of that series and end up leaving there with a couple of wins? And we might be seeing the inverse of what happened here. Twins just haven't played good baseball here tonight. They've gotten a good pitching performance. But there's enough balance in this league. Even though Atlanta has 33 wins, other teams have a lot more. Left center field, and Rosario is there, makes the catch one away. You've got teams with 58 wins and 56 wins. The Braves only have 33 wins, but if you don't play good baseball against them, you should get beat.
Well, you know what? You have to credit, Harold. Harnold did a great job. He really did. He got some big strikeouts when he needed to.
Plesac and Buddy Boucher's getting loose, but this still looks like it will be Santana's game. Garcia slugged a home run, got a hanging breaking ball, and made Santana pay the price. And now a ball hit up the middle. He has another hit. First and second, one down here in the ninth.
Garcia goes up there swinging a bat. Got jammed a little bit, but strong enough to hit it in the center field. Yeah, this is a game as a pitcher too. You want to finish this ball game. Still got a chance to get a win if you get the next 2 guys out.
And Ciarte, the batter, singled his last time up to the Santana pitch sharply up the middle. Ball one. Nice dig by Suzuki. Neil Allen stayed in the dugout. Paul Molitor stayed in the dugout so far. So no quick trips.
A double play right here.
Out front, 1-1. There's a double play grounder fielded nicely by Dozier, and that wraps
there
it
you
up.
go. He needed it. Now get him a win.
Quite a night for Ervin Santana. He's pitched 9 innings, but the Twins trail 2-0. Santana with a 9-inning ball game. Whether it's a complete game or not remains to be seen. Twins have some work to do against a guy who they should be familiar with. guy who's struggled a little bit since the All-Star break. 4 prior appearances, and Jim Johnson's been scored on in 3 of them.
Yeah, Jim Johnson, good sinking fastball, curveball, changeup. The Twins have seen him with the Orioles, the A's, the Tigers. In his second stint with the Braves.
When the Twins decided to go with Brandon Kintzler as their closer, they identified Kintzler's basically pitch-to-contact guy. And that's a different animal for a closer. And in asking Paul Molitor about comparables, he mentioned this guy, Jim Johnson. He's always been kind of a pitch-to-contact guy. Tap to the right side, weak contact.
There's that sinker right there.
Gives up a lot of ground balls. And he gets Kepler on a ground ball, who's now gone 0 for 4, 3 ground balls to the right side tonight.
Oh, he had those 2 years with the Orioles in 2012 and 13. Combined, he had 101 saves. And then he kind of lost it. He's kind of been trying to find it ever since. Johnson at 33 years old.
One down quickly. Here's Vargas. Rosario. Suzuki would follow if given a chance. Twins have a bench of Danny Santana, who might run for Vargas if he reaches. Centeno, Escobar, and Grossman. Looks like Escobar's got the helmet out, ready to go. Here's a ball flipped foul, 0-2. Generally, Johnson won't walk you. Throws it over the plate. Although he issued 2 walks in his last outing in Colorado. In 1 inning. Inside, 1-2.
And you even saw the movement of that fastball right there. A.J. Pierzynski wanted it inside. It was inside, down and in. Last year split the season between the Braves and the Dodgers. Had 10 saves.
Checked and swing. No swing. It's 2-2.
A tight curveball right there. Vargas able to hold up.
Foul. Johnson left the comforts of Camden Yards. Not that that's a pitcher's ballpark by any means, but then he went to Oakland and really struggled. Tigers picked him up. He really struggled. Good year last year with the Braves and the Dodgers. 2-2 to Kenny Vargas. Popped up center field. Going back is Enciarte. 2 down. Twins in danger of being shut out at the start of this homestand. Unless Eddie Rosario can do something about it. Mike Foltynewicz will go for the Braves tomorrow against Tyler Duffy in our CenturyLink What's Next.
Yeah, Duffy coming off that short start in Boston, so he's looking to redeem himself.
Foltynewicz, part of the future, the Braves' hope of a really effective rotation. Rosario 0 for 3. If he reaches, Suzuki would be due up next. Inside, ball 1. On the outside corner. Flared foul, 1-2.
Johnson with that big frame, 6'6", about 250. Signed by the Orioles back in 2001. Came up in 2006.
Comes down to their last strike. And Rosario checks. Two and 2 to the Twins left fielder. Twins start this homestand by being shut out 2-0 to the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, 5th time the Twins have been shut out this year. Good pitching, good hitting. The Twins were swinging the bat well, but not here tonight.
And Tom Hanneman, the Twins had no problem scoring runs at Boston, but a different story here tonight as the Braves beat them 2-0.
No, Dick, not the kind of homecoming Twins fans were hoping for tonight. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, we'll talk about Ervin Santana's hard luck loss, what Brian Dozier did in the field tonight. We'll hear from Paul Molitor, and preview tomorrow night's Game 2.